154, Danny Garcia.
154.
I went back and watched that Errol Spence fight. And,
Why?
Just get a fresh look get a quick little breakdown before the show.
Last time we've seen.
And Danny held his own in that fight. And there was times Errol turned, in the 8th and 9th, Errol turned it up on him like he did to Ugas. But to Danny's credit, he's strong. He could take a good shot. His defense, he was alert enough, had enough skills to hold his own in there and get through that fight with Errol. So I think, look, Danny, they both started at 140. Danny was the champion at 140.
He was the guy.
Right.
He was the guy.
Right. And so in their primes, he was better. So if they're a half step out of their primes, he should still be better. And I think he might be rejuvenated. He hasn't taken too much punishment in his career. Errol lumped him up a little bit, but he's always been a strong guy.
No true punishment, punches, that are almost flooring him, if not flooring him. Yeah, no, I agree with you 100%. Coming up to 154, he's more comfortable now. He said that in the interview, even more comfortable in training. And I know from my own experience, when you're good in training, you're good in the fight, So I think that some things that were missing because of stress and other situations along the way at 147, I think that those things will be gone at 154. So I'm super curious to see what Danny Garcia looks like. I said Danny moving up to 154 was going to be good for him. And outside of Charlo, he could become a champion. So we'll see what happens.
Well, unfortunately, he has all the belts.
There
is no outside of Charlo now.
I think Jose, he's going to give him trouble because, like David said, good jab, which can definitely give Danny some trouble at times. I would have been more interested. Not that this is by no means this is a bad match, but I think it's actually a good match.
It's actually a really good match.
But I would have been more maybe uneasy about Danny fighting somebody who's very established at 54. If he was fighting somebody that's always been at 54.
Tony Harris.
Yeah, or even started at 47. But obviously Jose moving up from 40, not a huge difference. It's not like, oh, man, you're going in there. That's a bigger guy that you're fighting in there.
Yeah.
But Jose obviously has one fight under his belt at 54, so there factors in. I lean Danny. I don't think it's a stoppage. I think it goes the distance. But yeah, I lean Danny. I'll be interested to see how it looks. Probably, I think Zittel mentioned it when we had Danny on. Maybe the most underrated chin of fighters nowadays.
He's a strong guy.
He
could take a shot. He's sturdy.
Maybe I'm remembering or missing where he's never been dropped.
Not that I can recall.
So. And I'm not sure if I've seen him
The worst I heard,
really,
saw him third was the first round with Thurman.
Yeah.
Thurman hit him with that right hand. But he stayed up.
And he's been in there. I mean, look at his resume. Look at the guys he's been in there with. He's been in there with some big punchers.
Yeah.
And I can't remember a time where I was like, I don't know, Danny. Looked like he's in trouble. So,
and I'll take Danny too, edging. I could see Danny stopping him if Jose tries to turn it up, because at the end of the day, he has that dog style in him.
Yeah.
So if he turns it up, gets sloppy, and gets hit with some clean shots from Danny, I can see him taking big shots and getting floored like that. Otherwise, I can see it's been a good fight, action-packed fight for both guys coming back. I didn't like how Jose looked in his last fight.
yeah.
A lot of people not talking about that. He did not look great in his last fight at all.
Some people thought he lost that fight.
Yes.
Very mediocre.
Yes. But the Jose we seen Terrence Crawford in previous was amazing.
Yeah.
Do we get that guy back? Who knows?
Yeah.
If he stays healthy, doesn't get shot all the BS, do these guys have similar careers?
He had a great talent. I went back and watched his sparring with you. It's on YouTube from 10 years ago. Great, pretty even round. But when would you agree, Shawn? When
we sparred,
he had talent.
He had skills. He had speed, and he knew what he wanted to do. I do remember that about him. And guys, sometimes you just kind of lose yourself in something in the pro game. Sometimes it's you fall in love with your power, like we were talking about with Gabe, and sometimes you feel like you need to pace yourself more, so you stop punching as much, and so on and so forth. And Jose Benavidez that lets his hands go and can be slick and intuitive the way that he was. That was 2018
when Crawford was 18.
No, when we sparred each other, it was
12, 13,
2012. Yeah. He was. That was probably 2012. Yeah. He was really good. So, there's always a way to get yourself back to where you used to be.
Well, he's a special talent when, even after the shooting, he's fighting Terrence effing Crawford and fighting with his hands at his waist and at times tagging him. Like that. who else can fight with their hands at their waist and stand in front of Terrence Crawford and hold their own for any amount of time?
How does he? Yeah. So you've been in there with him. How does he give Danny trouble?
Well, I mean,
Been there with both.
Even
David
if you
just
don't
said
have
that.
to say like his last fight, but like
not even. I want to see that David.
Jose,
that Jose Benavidez. I want to see a young, youthful, active Jose Benavidez beats Danny Garcia.
Okay.
Who has a better feet?
I think actually Jose Jr.
I think that's.
I don't
the
think
problem
either
for
of them
him.
have great feet.
I think they both don't win Dancing with the Stars.
I think that's
would agree.
But that's a problem for Jose because his last fight with Torres, he's doing his best Canelo Plant Saunders impersonation. He's just coming forward, big left hook, and all that hands at this. Well, he cut off the ring at times with his hands at the side, but
it's a conscious decision to not be who you used to be and be who you think you should be because of pace or because of this is gonna keep you safe and all of those things. I don't know what goes on in his mind or whatever, but we do know that he didn't have a good outing in his last fight. I said mediocre, and I do think that if there was a moment for him to kind of wipe that away, it's this fight right now, and much further beyond because it's Danny Garcia. But everything else, he's got 2 kids now and New York.
That's what he alluded to again, and he said, "I'm not excusing my last performance, but." His wife or his girlfriend was pregnant at the time with their second child. So he was like, I just wasn't really in the right spot. And he said now this is the best he's felt mentally and physically in some time. So
that is one.
It's a sneaky good fight, I think.
And training for trainer, he got the better trainer, Jose.
Sneaky good fight. This
He got the better dad.
best card of the year, some would say.
not get crazy.
Angel,
I agree.
Yeah,
I
but
agree
not
with that.
better dad. That's,
but remember when Angel said in Fight Week, he said, "Look,
remember when Angel slapped shit out of Danny?
Said he was
Did he?
No, he said if
no,
you
you never hit him.
Stop,
yeah,
man.
no, he
Oh,
said
you-
he said if he
you got a call about
if you
that
don't
too?
he
No,
said
I ain't get no call about
he
that.
said something about getting hit with an overhand right.
crossing the
He said
line.
he was gonna hit him with an
Oh,
overhand
you was in the
right.
fight, so you didn't hear this.
No.
Oh, I didn't. He crossed the line. Okay,
that's that Boricua thing. Felix Trinidad's dad used to do that to him. Pop,
he
pop,
slapped him in the fight.
all the time, every fight."
I would have.
Yeah, Angel said he said if you don't throw the overhand right, I'm gonna throw the overhand right at you or something. Angel
thought he
Garcia
slapped him.
Angel Garcia.
That's that
is
old
who he
school.
is.
That's old school.
Yeah, you're right. You're
I
right.
could be making this up, but I think one time, I wasn't doing what my dad wanted me to do in training, and I can't. And he wanted to slap me, but then wasn't sure, and he hit me a little bit.
Fainted.
Love tap.
He got that one through, and then he did it again. He said, "I need to hit you. Is that what I need you to do?"
I thought you was gonna say in the fight. I wasn't listening to my dad, and I looked over, and he stopped shit out of him. That's what I thought you were gonna say.
No.
Hey, Angel Garcia had one of the best quotes I ever seen from a trainer. It's Fight Week for Lucas Matisse. Everybody's picking Danny to get knocked out by Lucas
His dad was
Matisse.
talking that talk.
And he goes, the riders don't know anything. You guys don't know anything. Vegas don't know anything. I know everything. Danny Garcia is going to be
That
He
being
did.
said,
And he did.
July 30th, Barclays Center.
Yeah.
The tickets are still on sale. SeatGeek.com and also BarclaysCenter.com. You can get tickets if you're in New York or you need to make a trip over there. We're actually not going to go for this one. But you guys can get the tickets there. And, of course, Showtime.
Predictions.
I got Danny on points.
I got Danny late stoppage.
I'm curious, man.
I got Danny Garcia. I won't say points or I just got Danny.
What you guys got in the comments? Because Porterway and Mr. Porter won't say nothing. So,
Yeah,
you gonna say
y'all
something?
speak for me.
Say something.
My mind thinks that Danny Garcia is going to win this fight. I'm going to stick with that. I'm going to stick with Danny. I hope so. And they said it. We're only thing he's going to look for is that hook, and we're ready for that. That's kind of been like the stigma for Danny for a long time. And Danny came on the show and said we've been working on some things, so on and so forth. So I hope you're not just talking to me. You're gonna do something different. I think if you can do more, if we get an active Jose Benavidez, he's gonna
Got a right hand, Danny.
Yeah.
Danny's got a right hand.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but if we got an active Jose, it's gonna be a long night for Danny.
And it's going to be a breakout performance from Gary Antoine, I think.
Yeah,
So Danny.
Postal
do
was
agree
though,
with
right?
you.
I think this
Postal-
this one's going to be
This one's gonna be better.
I
Okay.
think this is going to be
Yep.
his breakout star making performance.
Yeah.
Well, Benavidez threw 32 punches around last fight, so he'll have to get that up.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
yeah. And
Shawn knows the technique to beat Danny. Work rate. Work rate.
And
It is. It's work rate.
well, work rate and sometimes athleticism.
Yeah.
And lateral movement. Movement. Benavidez doesn't have that right now.
Yeah.
If he fights like he did his last fight, that's the style Danny likes. Get the counter punches off, come right to him.
I do think it's gonna be exciting though.
Yeah, it's gonna. I don't think any
It's
of
Mexican versus Puerto Rican.
and I don't think any of the three of these fights are gonna disappoint. Yeah, I don't think. I think they're all gonna be good. Nice little trifecta.
Card of the year, some would say.
No, nobody would say that.